We are rolling through the program. So much college football to discuss, so much NFL to discuss. About to be joined by Todd Furman, scheduled to be joined at the top of hour 3 by Mississippi State head football coach Mike Leach to talk about his big win. All of that, the direction that we are headed. Huge win for the Packers on Sunday Night Football. They come in, they score 122 points through 3 games. They are 3-0. The Saints definitely do not look like a Super Bowl contender so far. 1-2, when Michael Thomas comes back, maybe that will change. But right now, the Saints look like a team that has missed their championship window. And as we start off the second hour of the program, here, and get rolling through, what I thought would be interesting to do is talk about the 3-0 teams. Now, we know tonight we got another whale of a game. Either the Ravens or the Chiefs are going to be 3-0. And we'll find out which of those 3-0 team is going to look the best. And in the meantime, I'm kind of curious, who do we believe of the undefeated teams right now are legitimate, bona fide, big-time Super Bowl contenders, right? It's hard to go 3-0. It's hard to win 3 straight games any point in the NFL schedule. And so I thought we would run through and I would say contender or not. Now, we know that both the Ravens and the Chiefs are legitimate contenders for the Super Bowl. So whatever happens, one of those two teams is going to be 3-0, but both of those teams are legitimate contenders to go 3-0. I don't think there's any doubt at all, even for the most ardent anti-Chiefs fan, even for the most ardent anti-Ravens fan. What about the other 3-0 teams? Buffalo Bills. Not really a believer here. They were fortunate to get past the Rams. I like that Josh Allen can now make plays. I always talk about the difference between a quarterback that you win because of instead of in spite of. And I think the Bills have made that step. They're up right now in the AFC East. We'll see how they do against New England. But I'm not sold on the Bills as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. The Steelers, 3-0. We know Ben Roethlisberger's already won 2 Super Bowls. But are you buying into the idea that Ben Roethlisberger, coming off of that issue in his elbow, that everything is going to round into shape? I'm curious to see the Steelers against the Titans this weekend, because the Titans are another 3-0 team that I don't really buy into. I'm a season ticket holder. I'd like for the Titans to win every game. They've won every game by a last-second field goal effectively. They could very easily be 0-3. Now, I think there's value in being a team that finds a way to win, but the Titan defense is not much. I think they've got good offensive weaponry. I'm curious to see how they look going head-to-head against the Steelers this Sunday in what should be a pretty awesome game. But right now, the Titans are 3-0, and they've outscored their opponents by 6 total points. So I'm not a believer in the Titans. I'm not a believer in the Steelers. I'm not really a believer in the Bills. In the AFC, I think it's pretty clear the 2 best teams are the Ravens and the Chiefs. Whichever of those 2 you want to take as the best team. We'll see who gets to 3-0 tonight. But I'm not really a believer in anybody else in the AFC as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. What about in the NFC? Green Bay, yes. We saw what they did. 122 points through 3 games. I'm buying what they're selling. The Bears, I'm not buying it. They had to bench Mitch Trubisky. They bring in Nick Foles. This team, much like the Titans, is only 12 points better than their opponents so far. Not really sold on what's going on there. What about the Seahawks? I'm a believer in Russell Wilson. I think that he's going to be the overall MVP of the league, but I'm not necessarily buying into the Seahawk defense, but I'm buying into Russell Wilson. So to me, of the 3-0 teams, I'm buying into Russell Wilson that he can make up for an atrocious defense. I'm buying into the Packers. I'm buying into the Ravens or the Chiefs, who are going to be 3-0. What I'm getting at here is there's a lot of teams out there that are having early success that feel a little bit to me like they might be frauds. And I don't mean frauds in the sense that they are not going to make the playoffs, because if you get to 3-0, your odds of making the playoffs are pretty outstanding. It's just that I'm not sure that when I look at the Bills or I look at the Steelers, or I look at the Titans, I think to myself, oh, this team is playing so well right now. They look like they're capable of beating the Chiefs and the Ravens. Both. Because I think there's probably a good chance you would have to beat both of those teams in order to get to the AFC Championship and advance to the Super Bowl. And I'm just not willing to buy into, come January, assuming that Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes is healthy, that the Titans have what it takes, that the Steelers have what it takes, or the Bills have what it takes to get through both of those teams as a 3-0 team. Now, still got 13 regular season games to go. That's my early read there, just not a big believer. NFC, I'm a believer in Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. I'm a believer in, based on what we saw last night, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I'm not really sure who else is out there that you're looking at and saying, oh, this team could win a championship. I actually like the Rams. I like, honestly, everybody in the NFC West. I think if it were actually making good decisions, the NFC East would lose their playoff automatic bid, and we would give an extra one to the NFC West because that seems a lot more fair to me. We'll talk about all this with my buddy Todd Furman coming up next.